we're here. We're just finishing the last couple things of setup. We got the live youth group happening. Just wonder in a second once we get going on the main feed. So just to remind you guys, this is just the video to let you know. Jonathan's posting the link. Click on that. It'll bring you to our official live video. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. Jonathan's getting our last couple things going. Video will be up in about 30 seconds. Ready to see you guys. 30 seconds away, like I said, on the release list is something that happens, yep, you guys enjoy that. There on the live stream. Click that link. It should be up now or within a few seconds. And join us over there. See you guys. Compared to he had like 4 the one weekend, but even at 4 the weekend. This week I don't have too much of that. It's still nice for us to answer, us to interact, but we definitely don't yeah.
We'll just bring us back into view. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Please let us know if you can hear us. We will do a mic check first because we get in trouble when we don't.
Yeah, I was going to say it's at least a couple times now. We've talked for a good minute before finding out. So
Yes, exactly.
let us know in the chat.
They say they can hear us.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Welcome.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
take it
So
away, Aaron.
we got some games for you. We have some devotional for you, and we have a new special surprise as well. So stay tuned. We got lots of things happening. First thing we have though for you guys is our video challenge for the week. Yeah.
Yes. So last week's video challenge, and I don't remember the exact wording. Do you, Aaron?
It was not the exact, but it was to find the best form of transportation around your house, and you had to be able to be in or on it.
Yes, I believe that was the gist of it. Thank you. So we're going to take a look at both of those. And just let me load this up. And Aaron and I will be voting on it. So the first one we have is called Way of Transportation. And let's switch over to it. Hopefully you guys can hear it. All right, and this is the first time for Aaron and me, so we're checking this out. Very cool.
Spinning the tires in the kitchen, that's not good.
That is true. I see a lot of dirt on the floor underneath.
Yeah, I know, hey?
I feel like not all the pixels on that camera are working properly. Okay, there we go. That was the first one.
Nice, very creative.
Well done. And the second one right here.
Rollerblades, the best way.
Rollerblades. Okay.
Nice.
So I will tell you, in my opinion, that rollerblades are practical and actually work. And I would have to say that when done, your parents won't kick you out of the house, most likely.
Very true.
The first video we saw with the motorbike, I feel like he would have got kicked out. Like, I'm thinking about the
Yeah.
exhaust fumes.
Yeah.
Luckily, he left the door open, and
Yeah,
maybe that was
helps.
a good touch.
Yeah.
But I don't feel it's a sustainable method. However, I would have to say, for one, the effort that went into that, making that video, and also, I'd rather be on a dirt bike inside a house. Like, if it wasn't my house.
Yeah, it'd have to be someone else's
It
house.
would have to be
but-
somebody else's. And so for that reason, I'm going to say that I prefer the dirt bike with disregard to the house or people staying alive or any of that. I pick the dirt bike. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, if you have to be able to stretch the rules a little bit because of the, like, was it actually in the house or not? But just the creativity and the, work that has to go into that, I think you have to kind of keep a blind eye to, was it really in the house, and kind of let your imagination go. And I would
Yeah.
also pick the dirt bike for this week.
Okay. All right. So we're unanimous again on that.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Well done, guys. And at the end of today's broadcast, we'll do another video challenge for you guys. All right. Take it away, Aaron.
All right, so got our first game. We're going to do Would You Rather. So if you've never played before, we're going to pose some questions that give you two options, and we want you guys to tell us in the chat which of these options you'd like. Some of them are silly, some of them are a little more realistic. None of them are very realistic, but a little more. So we'll give you your first one, and you guys let us know which of these you would rather do or have or whatever the question asks for. So first, your choice is, would you rather have no teeth or no toe or fingernails? So you either have no teeth at all or no finger or toenails. What do you think, Jonathan?
No teeth, no toes or fingernails. That's tough. I feel like I would get calluses. Like
Yeah.
I think you would get calluses over time. Like at first that would be super painful, and I'd have to say, with the proper calluses, I could still work, still do things, I believe. But going without steak, that I can't do.
Yeah.
So I gotta go. I need my teeth.
Yeah,
I really need my teeth.
I'm on the same page there. What are they saying in the chat?
All right. You can get dentures.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
dentures, that's true.
And that's actually a really good
Yeah,
point.
you don't hear about complete replacement toenails
No,
or fingernails. You can get
that's
fake
true.
ones, but they attach to your real ones.
Yeah, exactly. People are saying both. No teeth is the most popular.
Okay.
But in fact, I think they might all be saying that. Yep. Yeah,
So-
no teeth or fake teeth, so they
Yeah.
would go with that. Yeah, and dentures is a really good point. I had not thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Well done.
All right.
I'll also just let you guys know a little behind the scenes. You might have heard us talking about it in the intro, but before we muted our mics. But the delay is pretty good tonight, and so hopefully the interaction could be fairly real time.
Yeah, for sure. We're within a couple seconds. All right, second question. Would you rather be able to jump 10 feet in the air or run twice as fast as normal? So I'm thinking this as jumping 10 feet high. Maybe if you can jump 10 feet high, you could probably jump 10 feet long as well. So you could either jump 10 feet or be twice as fast as you normally are at running.
Okay. What would the practical application of either be?
Well, there could be lots, I guess. Like if you could run twice as fast and that would make you like the fastest person in the world.
That's
You
true.
could use that as a career. But I think
Yeah.
if you could jump 10 feet in the air, you could also leverage that for a career as well. So
Absolutely.
it just kind of depends on your preference, right? Because
Yeah.
you could be an Olympian either way, probably, right?
Yeah. I think I would go with distance over height. I'm just trying to think, like if I had to jump over a puddle or I'm hiking, going somewhere, I feel like I would use my distance over my vertical.
Okay.
And I think, if I needed to strand my friends, I could do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with jump because
Okay.
I feel like I could then be a professional basketball player because
Ooh,
the
good
rims are
point.
only 10 feet high. No one could block me. I'm jumping over the rim.
You are,
if I
yeah.
wanted to.
You could land on top. There's no rules against that, is there?
I don't know. They haven't had to make rules because no one can do it.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm going with.
Yes.
I think we mostly were seeing some run faster. We got Caden says run fast, Samuel, Aiden. We got a pretty good consensus actually for running faster. So I'm in the minority here with jumping.
Huh? Isn't there a movie about a basketball player jumping? Flubber or something? Didn't they have a... They
Yeah.
could jump really high? I don't know.
Well-
Am I thinking of the right movie?
I don't know if that's the right one or not, but like in Space Jam, the guys could jump pretty high
Okay.
too. But yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Very cool. So
right.
we're right away. We're looking at making money off of these abilities.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, third one. So this is kind of more negative than the first or than the second last one. So would you rather have to burp every 5 minutes or have the hiccups for 1 hour straight a day? So it's either for your whole day, every 5 minutes you have to burp, or just one crazy hour in the day you're just constant hiccups.
Yeah. I would go with hiccups because I think that it would be considered quite rude if I kept burping with people. And so I feel that because of that social perception of it, it would be really hard to be friends with anyone and burping all. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I agree in a lot of ways. The only thing is, depending on the timing of the hiccups. Like if it's like, middle of the night, like wakes you up and you're up for a whole hour, kind of bad. But at the same time, it'd be better than like in the middle of your day when people are like, whoa, what's wrong with you? Because
Yes.
it's uncontrollable. I'm gonna go with
Almost
hiccups.
everyone's saying hiccups here.
I'm gonna go with hiccups too. Every 5 minutes is pretty often for a burp to happen.
It is.
You want to give us the next one there, Jonathan? Number 4 on your list there?
Sure. Would you rather be able to learn any language you want or be able to know what animals are thinking? Okay. What would you pick, Aaron?
I think for myself, I think I'm going to go with any language just because I deal more with people than I do with animals. And even like because of my family, we have members of our family who can speak other languages. Like my sister-in-law speaks Spanish, my other sister-in-law speaks Ukrainian. So would have reason to use those languages that I can't right now. I can say like 5 words in Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'd go with.
Okay. My gut answer would be the same, languages. I think it would be really cool to be anywhere in the world and talking fluently. I think that would be quite a novelty, and it would be really cool to use that. I know my uncle one time used it when he was in a different country and they didn't realize he knew the language and he was eavesdropping on it. Those kind of things seem kind of cool. However, if I was looking for world dominance, and I could control all the animals in Africa, I win. I feel.
As long as they can understand you as well as you can understand them,
That's right.
You definitely could.
Yeah, and I guess understanding doesn't mean they'll instantly be obedient.
Yeah.
That's maybe a leap in logic there, but
But you might be able to win them over.
maybe.
We're
That'd be pretty cool if I was
Yeah.
like leading a herd of elephants towards somebody,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we got speaking languages. Caden says animals, and all the Jenkins say languages. All right, it's divided by families.
Yeah,
Huh? Very interesting.
nice.
Okay, and Aiden prefers speaking all
Different
languages.
languages.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I'm really bad at other languages, and so it would be
It would be
amazing.
nice to, be able to, for sure. All right, question 5. Would you rather have $1 million given to you right now or have $50,000 given to you every year for the rest of your life? So it would take you 20 years to get up to your $1 million, but then after that, you're making more money,
Yeah.
but you have to,
Yeah.
wait that long for it. So it's kind of the dilemma there. Your $1 million could be making you money in the bank starting right now. I don't know if you'd get an interest rate to, make up 50,000 maybe a year. I don't know.
That's possible. I guess
possible.
if you invested,
Depending on how you invest it.
Yeah.
We're probably thinking too deep into this question with like
Probably.
investments and stuff, but
yeah. Despite the investments angle, I would go with the 50,000 just because I tend to be a saver. I don't actually need $1 million today. I don't even know what I would do with it. I'm not sure what I'd do with 50,000. Well, I do know. I'd put it into my mortgage maybe
Yeah.
and it would disappear.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I would pick because there's my retirement plan. There's everything. I don't need to save up
Yeah.
for almost anything for the rest of my life. That would be pretty sweet.
I like the budgeting aspect of the 50,000 because having $1 million sitting in your bank, it would be tempting to buy things that you don't need, and if you only had a certain amount per year, then it's easier to use it on your mortgage, like Jonathan said, or something. But
Yeah. Plus, what's $1 million going to be worth when you're 70, 80? Versus you're going to get their current value of 50,000 every year.
Yeah.
So it'll go up with inflation.
yeah, I guess
I
so.
don't know.
Yeah, and I think the chat is about in line with us. They're all
50,000.
50,000,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
not too tough of a question.
Good to know.
Yeah, you want to get this next one there, number 6, I believe.
Yeah. Would you rather always have to wake up at 5 a.m. but can stay up as late as you want, or would you rather sleep in but have to go to bed at 9 p.m. every night?
Okay, because that's the
Yeah.
thing where if you're waking up at 5 a.m., how late do you want to stay up, really, right?
That's true.
You don't want to stay up till midnight because then you're only getting 5 hours of sleep. So, but even saying that, like mostly I'm a stay up late kind of person. Like
Yeah.
I don't usually go to bed. Like 9 o'clock would be so early for me, especially now in the summer with the light.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going towards wake up early, but get to stay up as late as I want, even though I'm sacrificing some sleep there.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that, especially because there's a lot of social things that to end at 9, that would mean maybe even driving home at 8 to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to bed by 9. And I wouldn't want that. I'd rather be a little sleep deprived when I chose to.
Yeah. It might be healthier to take the other option, but it would really affect your life, I think.
Yes.
For
And I
sure.
also think I would be more productive if I was always up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I would be doing something and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd make plans that worked around your schedule.
yeah.
Okay, another one that's
That'd be my
very
pick.
very consistent between all the
5?
answers. Yeah, most are saying wake up early and stay up late. Staying up late that's the same
That's the
option.
same
so
one, right?
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Pretty good consensus. All right, number 7 here. Would you rather have to eat with only your hands for the rest of your life, so no cutlery, or have to put ketchup on everything you eat for the rest of your life?
I'd rather eat with my hands.
Yeah.
I
The
think
only
so.
thing is it would limit some of the things like soup with your hands. You couldn't get away with that very
Well,
easily.
but
or-
can't I bring my bowl to my mouth?
Yeah, I guess so, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that works.
Yeah, but can you imagine all your sweets, all your chocolate, your ice cream, everything in ketchup?
That's true. Like I like ketchup. For most things, I would have no problem having ketchup on it.
Yeah.
But like you said, sweets, or there's a lot of things that now when you think
But even
about
like
it,
a
it's
Caesar salad, you
yeah,
know?
Caesar salad. Well, I would just stop eating Caesar salads. but then yeah, you have to get your vegetables, so like broccoli or ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna stick with hands too, and I think this one ketchup is gross. Samuel says so. We know
Okay.
we know where he's going with that. He wants to eat with his hands.
Yeah.
Most people, like people would look at you strange, but they also would with the ketchup too. You know, you're chewing on your steak
be.
with your hands and
Yes, yes.
that type of stuff.
I
but,
had
yeah.
a relative who always ate ketchup with everything.
Yeah.
And I think they might have been addicted to the sugar content in there or
Yes,
something, right?
yes,
And,
yeah.
and I can understand that because I have a bit of an addiction to salt things.
yeah.
And so, but yeah, I don't think they had it on truly everything though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, the next one here is would you rather go skydiving or be in a shark cage in the ocean?
Have you seen the videos
I
of people
haven't
doing the shark
either.
diving?
I have seen it, yes.
Okay, yeah. So you're on both of them. You're mostly safe, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, there's elements of
There's a
danger
risk
to both,
both.
but like most people survive without any injuries
Yeah.
on both those activities. For me,
Yeah.
it would definitely be the Shark Tank. I have
Okay.
always felt like I like roller coasters. I like, the drops at the carnivals, but skydiving seems like it would be too much for me. I don't
Hmm. Yeah.
know. It's a huge drop.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a long time. Like one of the things I like about roller coasters is like you go down, it's crazy, but it only lasts about 5 seconds, right? So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna pick sharks, and also getting to see the sharks in front of you would be a great experience. I'd love to see that.
Yes.
How
I
about
think
you?
we see skydiving is up there
Yeah.
almost unanimously. Caden
Wow.
would rather both, so he's not picking a side. This is a really tough one. I think I would be more scared of skydiving than being in a cage in the
Yeah.
ocean,
Yeah.
fear-wise. My wife's actually skydived, and she would like to do it again. And
Yeah.
so I feel for the sake of our marriage and a date, I will pick skydiving. But I think it would be cool because I know people who've skydived.
Yeah.
Because you can skydive all over the place, but I'm not sure I actually know of somebody in a shark cage.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
And so I think that would be an amazing story that's not the same as anyone else in Barhead that I'm aware of.
It's more unique, I would say.
It is more
right?
unique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I would have to pick that as well.
Okay, and we have one person agreeing with us there for for sharks.
For
but
sharks, yeah,
lots of
Rebecca.
skydiving there.
Okay.
All right. Okay, here we go. Would you rather? This one's a little more tame than the others. Would you rather live in an apartment in a big city or live in a cabin in the woods?
You know, now that we have a daughter and she's growing up, I would like to be in the country at a certain point with her. I think that would be really cool to have some animals, that kind of thing. I don't know about like if this is talking off the grid in a little cabin
See,
or not.
that's where I'm thinking it's going. It's like you're not acreage. You could maybe make it an acreage, but it would take a lot of work because you're clearing the woods, right?
Right.
So I'm thinking it's more like that. And for me, it's tough because like there's advantages, right? I like having high speed internet. Being in the city would be nice for that.
Yeah.
But I like so many other things. I think I'm going to go with cabin in the woods just because it's, it appeals to me on multiple ways where being in a big city, it's okay for me. I'd rather be in a small town
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
even in the woods, I guess,
Smaller.
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as I had access to a town within the woods, right?
Sure.
I don't want to be isolated. That's not what I want. I want to be, able to drive to a town,
Yeah. Yeah.
interact, that type of thing.
Yeah. some of the people I painted houses for have called, if they have multiple houses, they sometimes call a building a cabin
Yeah.
when it's really way nicer than my house that I live in.
Yeah.
And so based on that definition, I would love to live in a cabin
Yeah.
in the woods.
I'll take one of those 3,000 square foot cabins.
Yeah, with the sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty lavish stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess I'm taking the last
Yeah,
one here.
you bet.
Okay, would you rather never text again, or would you rather never use social media apps again? This one's pretty easy for me. Go ahead and check out my Facebook footprint. I'm not a big social media person. I do text, and it's I use it for my livelihood. I use it for connecting with friends and family, and so definitely I'd rather text.
And that's kind of how I was thinking this one would go. Like me and you, I think we could agree on that.
Yeah.
But I think for the youth, it might be different.
It might
because
be.
there's like for me, I use Facebook, I use Twitter, and that's about it. Like I'm not on,
Yeah.
Snapchat and all the,
Right.
there's so many.
Oh, there is.
So, but I think, more the younger generation is using multiple 3, 4, 5, 6 different apps.
Yeah.
So I think for them, it's going to be a little tough choice.
Yeah. Well, we got Rebecca says no social media. My wife says never use social media, and Caden doesn't
Okay.
use either.
Yeah.
That will change as you get older.
For sure.
You'll need to communicate with people somehow.
So they're all on the same page. Okay.
Yeah, Jessica, Samuel, both no social media. Okay, so they would agree. That's actually surprising.
Yeah.
I don't even know always what kids are into. Like, is Twitter a thing for young people? I don't know.
No, Twitter's more like I use it mostly for sports. So
Okay.
I follow like sports reporters and that gets used, and it gets used a lot for like news and things like that. So it's more, I would say, businessy. Twitter, more Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok now. Those
Yeah.
type of ones are becoming more. Some of those ones I wouldn't recommend, like Snapchat and TikTok are a little iffy with some of the content and that, but
Okay. Yeah.
though Twitter's more, I would say, an older
Okay.
audience and a little more business type.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have the accounts to all sorts of things because somebody sends you a link and you
Yeah.
got to check out this TikTok video or this Twitter, whatever. And
Yeah,
so to
for
have
sure.
an account, you can see more. And so,
See, okay. Oh
That's
no,
why I use
probably
it.
not. I was gonna say, would YouTube be considered social media? But there's comment sections which could be, but in general, I'd say it's a video streaming first. So you probably get away with that.
yeah.
Because that would make the decision a little tougher. I definitely enjoy YouTube.
Yes. It is fairly, I don't know, it has a social aspect.
Yeah,
For sure.
so it could definitely be in
We're
there.
dealing with chats and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it's so much more than social media
Yeah.
that maybe it's not purely social media. But,
For sure. Yeah.
But that element's in there. I don't usually ever comment actually on videos I see,
Right.
but I know a lot of people do all the time.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're
Okay.
going to transition to our second game here.
Discord, I will say, I believe
Oh, okay.
Discord, from what I understand, again, I have an account. It's actually to talk to programmers,
Right.
Programming chess engines specifically. But I believe it's for gamers to chat with each
Right,
other.
right.
I feel like it's social.
Yeah.
I don't know if it can handle pictures and videos. I believe so that there's media too.
Okay.
Yeah, but it allows like live voice chatting, I believe, and stuff. More things
Yeah.
gamers
so,
might use.
So yeah, more,
But-
but still kind of social media type.
Yeah, I feel that
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So our second
right.
game, we are backed by popular demand here. We're going to do our Amazon review game. So if you didn't see it last week or you don't know, what's going to happen is we're going to read you a review that was put on a real Amazon item that was for sale, and you guys are going to have to guess by the review which item it is. So we're going to give you 3 options each time. Let us know number 1, number 2, or number 3. So
Okay, should I bring it up?
yeah, you bet. Bring it up.
Okay. Hold on just a sec, guys. We're going to get it so that we can follow chat. Are you able to see that, Aaron?
Yeah,
All
I should
right.
be able to.
Last time we were going blind when we used the computer to play this game.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
So first item, Christine Marie reviewed this item a 5 out of 5 star and titled it, "My son needed this. I don't know why." And she says, "My son needed this. I don't know why, but it shipped quick and he was thrilled. Very vibrant in color." Is it number 1, senior woman with asthma inhaler wall decal, or number 2, ladies 3 pair of Coca-Cola heart design cotton socks, or number 3, crazy foot doctor surgery spa adventure hospital game? All of these, just so you guys know, are real items for sale on Amazon. I set this one up this time,
Okay.
and I took real items for all the examples.
Wow.
So you could buy any of these things on
Yeah.
Amazon. They're all strange, but which was the one that was reviewed?
The chat is super split. So Brianna says number 3, the crazy foot thing.
Yeah.
We got Caden says number 2, Jessica says number 1, Rebecca says number 2, Samuel number 1, and Aiden number 1. So actually, and Jessica changes her answer to number 1. And actually, number 1 for me is the least likely because I'm taking this as to be a younger kid, and I could be wrong, but but it's the mother talking about
Right.
the child. I'm getting that feeling, and I don't know why he's wanting. It's a senior woman and a young boy, and I'm
Yeah.
not seeing the connection here. And so I feel like Coca-Cola kids would be into, and also this spa adventure game. And the fact that she says she's not sure why. I'm going to go with number 3, I think, because
3?
that one strikes me as
Strikes you as
odd
weird?
for a kid to have.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So if you move to the next
Okay.
slide, we'll get our answer here.
Sure. And
It's number
boy.
1, senior
was
woman
dead
with
wrong.
asthma inhaler wall decal.
Wow.
This
Okay.
is an actual item. The
Wow.
reviews were interesting. Most people loved this lady. They said she's amazing and that she is, inspiring them every day.
Okay.
So they, I think it probably started as a joke, and people
Yeah.
just have really enjoyed it. She had very good
Fascinating.
reviews.
Okay. Wow. I would not have guessed a young boy wanting that.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Here's the next one.
All right, this one was reviewed by Amazon customer, so they didn't want to put their name attached to it. Also 5 out of 5 stars, and they said, "My dad thought it was hilarious." Was it number 1, bacon strip bandages? Number 2, the original toilet nightlight gadget, bathroom lighting, toilet seat, motion sensor activated? Or number 3, instant underpants, just add water, 1 pair?
I'll just mention before it goes by in the chat, but apparently a few people are saying that Mr. Beast, who's a big YouTuber, has this decal on his wall, or
Does he?
somehow in his
Okay.
videos they're mentioning this.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely seen a
Interesting.
few of his videos. He's got a lot of subscribers and stuff, so that would be a reason why this is a very popular item, I guess.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can. There we go. So now you guys can actually see us and the screen at once. Hopefully you guys can read it. If you can't, let me know and I'll enlarge it. Okay, we're getting number 3 in the chat, except Samuel says number 1. So number 3 is instant underpants. Bacon strip bandages is number 1, and nobody has gone with number 2. Aiden has number 1, Rebecca has number 3. Number 1 because bacon sounds and tastes great, yes.
Yeah.
And nobody's going with number 2. I'm going to have to agree with people on number 3 because, yeah, I could see them finding it hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, let's take a look at the answer.
All right, you guys were right. All of you, the
Nice.
instant underpants, just add water. So in reading this, there were a few that were like, "This is hilarious, so funny." Most were actually disappointed in the fact that they either took too long to come out of their ball because these people had emergencies that they needed underwear for, and it took 30 plus minutes. So they were stuck in the bathroom trying to wet their new underpants, or that people were mad that they were the wrong size. They do have sizing of these, but they were concerned that they didn't fit quite right.
I find it a little ironic that you need to first wet the underpants before you can put them on.
Exactly.
Isn't that a
Yeah,
reverse
exactly.
order?
It is kind of anti. It goes against kind of what you're wanting there. Usually,
Yeah.
you want a nice, dry, clean pair.
Yeah. I would have to add another 30 minutes to put in the dryer or
Yeah.
something.
It's very entertaining, though, reading the comments on that.
I bet that's fascinating. I didn't know that was a thing at all.
No.
That's
I've seen the
interesting.
towels that you can wet, but then you kind of want that. You got a wet towel you can wash your hands with.
Yeah.
And they come in like the little pill size thing. But this one, yeah, not quite.
Okay, here's the next one.
All right, the next one's reviewed by Rico. Also 5 out of 5 stars. These people are really liking their product so far. He said, it worked like a charm. I purchased this as I was tired of people sitting too close to me on public transport. Was it number 1, money saving bank, face eating kids money piggy bank? Kind of a strange item. Number 2, slingshot flying screaming monkey. Or number 3, crafting with cat hair, cute handicrafts to make with your cats. So it's keeping people away from in transit. Think about that. Which one of these?
Yeah.
I think all of them would probably keep people away from you in public transit, but he was definitely using it to his advantage.
I feel if it was the piggy bank, people might actually edge a little closer, for theft reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that it probably wouldn't work like a charm, actually, in my mind. The flying, screaming monkey, would that be just a one-time use? It's like something on an elastic band? A fling shot. So I'm going to guess that, you just annoy somebody and then they'd sit right beside you. So because of that, I'm going to go with number 3. And, if there's somebody acting like a crazy cat lady or, whatever, I don't know. That's what I would go with.
So most people are saying number 2 in the chat. There is,
Number
I
2.
think, 1, 3.
Okay.
So most are going away from your idea there, but
They are.
let's
They own one, actually. Rebecca says they have, I'm assuming number 2, this fling shot.
nice.
Yeah, fling shot, slingshot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. And
Okay.
actually, I own one as well.
Do you? Okay, so super popular item. All right, well, let's take a look here. Aha! Nice. I
Crafting
got
with
this
cat
one.
hair, cute handicrafts to make with your cat. So yes, I think his plan was to be reading this and people think that he was strange and then they would stay away from him.
Right.
Because usually like having a cat's kind of normal,
Yeah.
But collecting its cat hair to make crafts with it, that's a little strange, I would say.
Yes.
If you do that at home, I apologize, but it would be an eclectic hobby.
It
But yes,
would. Sounds like
speaking
a lot of work.
of the monkey, I do own one. It's not in good shape anymore because we flung it so many times that it lost a leg. But
Okay.
it has like slingshot bands in its arms, and so you hook the
Okay.
hands on your fingers and you
Yeah.
pull the tail and legs, and,
Oh, yeah.
and then when it flings off, it screams. It like does like a monkey howl scream. So it's
Okay.
kind of neat. I got it actually at a dry cleaning convention. It was
Oh.
it has like a cape on it, and the cape had the company's logo, and so it was a neat giveaway they had, and Cameron
Okay.
loved using it.
Huh? Did you Jenkins buy it or were you given it? Just let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
They have multiple. of
Okay.
these.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
a
they're-
neat thing for sure.
Huh, very cool. Yeah, and the sound probably adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one here.
All right.
for it.
This was Karen A. Lair. She
the
only
H is
reviewed
silent.
this a 1 out of 5 stars. So this is our first one negative reviewed. She says this should be pulled off the market. Extremely expensive and smelled like dirty feet. Is it number 1, Uncle Oinker's savory bacon flavored mints in a 2-pack? Number 2, mac and cheese candy canes, or number 3, Dr. Tobias : 14-day quick cleanse. If it smelled like dirty feet, I think you'd want that colon cleanse to be really quick.
Yeah. I'm going to actually go with number 3 because those first two, I don't think anyone would be willing to buy them if they were very expensive. At least those flavors, they just don't appeal to me. Well, maybe the bacon, I don't know, but mac and cheese candy canes?
It would be
I
definitely
don't-
strange. Yeah.
I would definitely not spend money if there was a hefty price tag on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That number 3, I can see somebody spending money.
Yeah,
if they
it
want
would
to.
seem like a more expensive item for
Yeah.
sure.
It would. Yeah, I'm going to go with number 3.
Okay.
Let's look at chat here. Okay, we got number. They got them as gifts.
Oh, nice.
And James bought one, I guess. Anyways, conflicting answers here. So number 2, okay, Samuel says it is the candy canes. So does Aiden and Caden. Jessica says it's number 1.
The
And
Bacon Mints,
yeah. And then Rebecca says number 2. And yeah, that's everybody.
Nice.
Okay.
So mostly number 2. And the answer is
And we go with
the mac and cheese candy
Ooh.
canes.
Wow.
So, and that's
that
like,
actually looks appealing.
it
if I
looks
didn't know the
appealing,
flavor.
yeah, for sure. And the dancing macaroni, he's
Yeah.
good mascot, I'd say, but you definitely wouldn't want it to smell or taste like dirty feet. That would definitely, and that's the thing where I think for candy canes, like a 6-pack of candy canes, like is only a couple dollars. So even if this was, just a couple dollars more, I could see somebody thinking that it's very expensive because it might be, if it's $6 or $7, it might be twice as expensive as regular ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And it doesn't
yeah.
look like it's actually like Kraft name brand.
Yeah.
This is off name brand.
Yeah, for sure. It's,
And yeah.
yeah.
They probably don't want to put their name onto
No.
something like this. Is
Yeah,
my guess.
exactly.
All right, here's the next one.
All right. Amazon customer reviewed this 5 out of 5 stars. I love it. I, period, like, period, this, period, not extremely soft, but that's okay. Is it number 1, burrito blanket, giant flour tortilla throw blanket? Number 2, Dazzle Slothicorn plush stuffed toy? Or number 3, Lonely Narwhal playing banjo crazy throw pillow cover? All very interesting items.
Yeah.
And all could be soft, but, she's okay that it wasn't extremely soft.
Yeah. Number 2, because it says it's plush, I'm going to guess that that's not false advertising. I'm just going to, if they're making a big deal about how soft it is,
Right.
I'm going to assume it actually is soft. I mean, obviously, they'd complain if that's what they got and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
exactly.
The narwhal throw pillow cover, you're not really looking for super softness in a pillow cover. Like in the actual fabric, I feel like the pillow you want soft, yes, but not the cover.
Right.
And so for that reason, I'm going to go with this blanket because a blanket, you might be hoping it's soft and it's not. And I can see it as a real complaint that you're not really sure about.
Right.
Yeah. In the chat, we see, I don't know what they're saying. There's a whole thing here. James bought, okay, this is talking about these
All right,
monkey
back to the
things.
monkeys,
James
yeah.
bought one and gave it to Jessica, and the other one we were given. Okay. So, anyways, it looks like Rebecca says number 1. Caden says number 3. So Rebecca agrees with me. That's good. Caden's number 3. And Aiden's number 3, and Samuel's number 2. And he says because plush means soft, and if you ordered that, and I agree.
Yeah,
If
you wouldn't
ordered
be
it,
giving
might
it
be
5 out of 5
disappointed.
stars.
And I would have to say that's the second most plausible in my mind, and the least plausible is number 3. So hopefully I'm not wrong on
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
And the answer was
And what do we have here?
the burrito
Ooh,
blanket, giant
nice.
flour tortilla throw blanket. So yes, it does kind of
looks
look like
like-
a cooked
yeah.
tortilla.
It does.
And I would recommend all of these items just based on their appearance,
Hmm.
though. The sloth unicorn, very interesting looking stuffed animal. But the lonely narwhal, he's playing a banjo. It's very funny picture. I would think it would be
Okay.
kind of a hilarious throw pillow to have around. So definitely all of them very interesting items.
Yeah. Do you know how big this is?
People had posted pictures actually with their reviews.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's like queen sized type thing, and it's circular like
Right.
that. But it was big enough, like a lot of people had it wrapped right around them. The
Okay.
one was saying they bought it for their elderly grandma who's always cold, and she quite enjoyed it. So
Okay.
it's big enough. It would, like on a single type bed, it would definitely be enough blanket.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know. All right. Here's the next one.
All right. Somic reviewed 3 out of 5 stars. He says, make sure you buy a case of 9-volt batteries. Bought this item for the office desk. It's a bit of a novelty and an inside joke in the office. Is it number 1, Pure Sonic electric nail clipper? Number 2, wacky waving inflatable tube guy? Or number 3, Archie McPhee accoutrements yodeling pickle?
Ooh. Oh boy. From the moment I heard that first one, I liked it.
Yeah.
I want that to be the answer. I'm not sure if it is,
Yeah.
but I'm rooting for it, and I'm just gonna cheer for that one.
It definitely, if that was the one, it would be a conversation piece around
be
an
a
office.
novelty.
Because yeah, it's something you don't see often, or it could be like, hey, did you see Jim? He's clipping his nails at his desk again.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it definitely could go either way and be that conversation piece, like he's saying it is.
Yeah, yeah. I like the yodeling pickle too, though.
Yes,
That's pretty cool. I think my brother's is a decent yodeler. It's like
Yeah.
I can't yodel. I don't know. Have you
I have
yodeled?
never. I don't know if I've even tried yodeling. Maybe a
Okay.
little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. We see that Jessica says number 1, Caden says number 3, Rebecca says number 3, Aiden, Samuel, they all say number 3, except for Jessica. Jessica's the only one with number 1.
Okay.
Okay, so again, number 2 is not popular, it looks like. And Samuel says that the burrito was $30.
Yes.
If anyone
Yeah,
wants it,
it's
so there's
not,
some advertising.
It's not a super cheap blanket, but if it, well, I guess I was gonna say if it's nice, it's worth it. But she did say it's not that soft.
Yeah,
So.
right. So that was a negative review.
Yeah.
And this one's actually only even 3 stars out of 5, so
Yeah.
not totally satisfactory. Probably because of the batteries,
Yes, I would agree.
which I think is there legal rules about not shipping batteries? I think there
I don't know. Yeah, or maybe it was just because it was going through them so quick. So he
Maybe.
was saying buy a case of them because
Oh, that's true.
if he was utilizing it all the time and
Good
it was going
point.
through them.
Good point. Which makes me wonder, how often are you clipping your nails? So I'm probably wrong on this one, guys.
Just every day.
Okay, here's the answer.
It is the wacky
Wow.
inflatable tube guy. And
Okay.
I'm assuming, the pictures didn't quite explain it, but I'm assuming that this is a desktop sized.
Yeah.
So it's not like the full ones you see out in front of like car dealerships just
Right.
waving around.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
definitely would be a
Surprising.
conversation piece,
would.
but like
would.
you, I was quite intrigued by those electric nail clippers. I was wondering like I've seen ones that are like my sister-in-law has one for her children that it's kind of
Yeah.
like a rotating one that shaves down your nails. But
Mm.
from the look of this, it looked like it was actually like clamping like a standard nail clipper, just
Yeah.
electric, like you're not having to do the button.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It
Interesting.
looked interesting. I don't remember the price on that,
Yeah.
but
I've seen electric staplers
yes,
where you just kind of hit the button or whatever, but there's not that compression and that
Yeah.
spring loaded in them.
actually, we just recently got one at work,
Okay.
and it does it by motion sense. So when you stick the paper in,
Oh.
it senses that, and then it hits the staple down.
Neat.
The only bad thing is it takes a very specific type of staples. So we can make it work with the staples we have, but it's not as good as it should be.
Yeah.
So if I was giving that a star review, it'd be like 2 to 3 out of 5. only.
Right.
But it is a neat technology, though.
Huh. Fascinating.
If you're stapling lots of things.
Yeah, neat. All right, we'll get rid of that there. So the next thing we're going to do, we want just to bring back some things we've done with you
Yeah.
guys as a youth group when you were here in person. And it's really important for us to do it, to celebrate you. And we so enjoy doing this.
Yeah, like usually at this time, like let's imagine it's about like 9 o'clock, maybe a little after, and it's
Yeah.
actually getting close to that snack time.
It is. It is. Yeah.
So we
usually
wanted
have a
to
snack
share
time.
a youth snack with you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to be having the favorites. This is what you guys always ask for,
Yeah.
and so we thought we got to bring it. And everyone who showed up
Yeah.
gets some. That's
If-
our policy
If
always.
anyone
right?
was here, they would definitely get some as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're
So
gonna
we
we're
got-
gonna enjoy our nice youth pizza.
Very good. Very good. All right. We'll have to see who's here at the end and who gets to take home the leftovers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, I mean,
There's-
if you don't,
There's 25 pizzas out there on the table.
big stack,
Just like
guys.
almost touching the roof, and it's really good.
And for you sweet lovers and chocolate lovers, we got here these, not Rice Krispie squares, puff wheat
puff wheat
squares,
squares,
right? Yeah. Got this. Loads of sugar, loads of chocolate, delicious. We're really trying to splurge, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
the budget's slim, but we
Yeah,
are going all
exactly.
out today.
Just for you guys. This is, we don't take any joy in this. It's only for you guys. We're sharing this with you,
You guys.
giving you all the joy and everything. And also these rice or puff wheat squares, they are in place of cake, right?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
we celebrate birthdays.
Yeah.
this year, and we have our birthday list if you guys can
Let me
see.
zoom in to that.
Perfect.
All right.
And
Aaron
so
can share
so
the
this is
names.
our birthday cake for the time. So I don't remember if we had celebrated March birthdays before we had to stop or not. So I'm going to include them in there just
Sure.
in case.
Go for it.
We're going to do our March, April, and May all together. So we have Alexis Velnol, Braden Henschel, Courtney Peterson, Caleb Ratledge, Hosea Mast, Caden Workington, Hudson Schmidt, Dominic Clark, Peyton Anderson, Josiah Raju, Dallas Lee, and Isaac Mast. So happy birthday, you guys. Hope you
Yes.
enjoy the cake.
Yes. Jessica is saying that she wants some cake, and all I can say is the best we can do is have it on her behalf, right?
Yeah.
Like, our
It's-
hands
it's
are
almost
tied, guys.
better- It's almost better than them having it themselves.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. I wonder how many of you guys are going and grabbing what happens if I come to the church?
As long as you
The
know the
door.
code, you can come right in.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Have one of the giant things of pizza.
Aaron and I might be sneaking out the back
Yeah,
just so you guys
exactly.
know. Avoid the ambush. All right. So we're going to move on to devotions at this time. Jessica's saying we're lying. Don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is for you guys. We're doing this.
All right. So, I'm going to make this. Sorry, we're just gonna set up. There we go. So that Aaron can see chat.
Perfect.
I will give that to him. And we'll just make it a bit bigger.
Samuel says he's on his way. He'll be here in a couple minutes. So speed your devotion along, Jonathan, really quick. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding.
Yes. I'm bringing across. This is not working. I can't see how many tabs there are. Anyways, sorry, computer difficulties. Okay, let me try to get this working. There we go. For some reason, hopefully the computer updates. The computer is currently frozen, guys, but hopefully we get this straightened out. There we go. Oh, and PowerPoint crashed. And we'll be up and running in a minute. All right, so there we go. Now you guys can see the verses at the bottom. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is something that I've been learning about recently. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And over the last little while, the three main topics that I've been doing a lot of studying and learning about are pleasuring God, faith, and God's promises. And so I just want to share some recent thoughts. They're not fully thought through and worked out, but I thought I would share them at this stage. And because of that, I just want you to be aware that these thoughts haven't had the test of time applied to them. And so I encourage you guys, along with your families, to consider the scriptures and make sure that what I'm saying is right. And what I want to talk to you guys about is faith. And I really want to encourage you guys to have faith in God, despite any circumstances you're facing. Faith is something that's super important. And I want to also challenge you guys to think deeply about faith, not just kind of surface level, but to go beyond that and really wrestle with what faith is and what it means to have faith and what that looks like in your life. So normally when I don't fully understand something, and I don't fully understand faith, I'll just start off by saying that, there are questions I still have about this topic. And normally when that's the case, I might have a Bible study during the week and we can discuss it. I can get input from other people, which we can't do anymore. And I usually just think about it and don't share until I have all the answers, but that's not the case today. And so first I want to ask, why is faith important? So let's look at this first verse here. It says that, and without faith it is impossible to please him, meaning God. For whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. So without faith, it's impossible to please God. So faith is super important. This is super foundational to just making God happy. Another thing is that Galatians 5 says that, for in Christ Jesus neither circumcision nor uncircumcision counts for anything, but only faith working through love. So these works of getting circumcised or not, those kinds of things, pale in comparison to having faith and having it in love. That's what really counts. And so here again, we can see how important faith is, and it's very important to apply to our lives. And also here, we see, it says in Romans chapter 4, and to the one who does not work but believes in him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is counted as righteousness. And so here, people's faith are counted as righteousness, and it's really important to be in a right standing with God, and that comes through faith, not through good works, but through faith. And so faith is something that is super, super important. And you guys probably know this already, but the chapter in the Bible that's called the faith chapter, because it really focuses on faith, is Hebrews chapter 11. And if you guys want to look in your own Bibles, feel free to do that. But I'll have everything up on the screen on the relative verses. And in verse 1 of Hebrews 11, it gives us kind of a summary of what faith is. It says, now faith is, and it goes on. And so it's often used as a definition for faith. This is what faith is according to the Bible. And so let's take a look at that. It says that now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So that's what faith is, the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Now let's say it had said, well, what are things that we hope for? It's the assurance of things hoped for. In Romans, we see that it says in chapter 8, for in this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope. For who hopes for what he sees? So hope is only hope when you haven't yet seen it. We hope that COVID will end, but because we haven't seen it end yet, it's a hope that we have. And so it's kind of similar to the second sentence in Hebrews 11:1, where it's the conviction of things not seen. And so if I were to put the two together to give me kind of a working definition for tonight, faith is being sure that what we haven't yet seen or experienced will happen. That's kind of the definition I'm going to go with. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's the one I'm going to use. It's kind of just a quick summary of what I'm meaning when I talk about faith. It's being sure or having confidence that what we haven't yet seen or experienced will happen. So, and one of the questions I'll give you, this is sort of a trivial question about this thing, but because this seems to be the Bible's definition of faith, it's being sure of what we haven't yet seen or experienced. The question I would have for you guys would be, is there going to be faith in eternity, in heaven with God? And I'm not sure, because when we meet God, we will have seen and experienced all the things he's promised for us. Like we will be face to face with God. We will know him even as he knows us. And I don't know. And you can read different verses in multiple ways. So here's a little side note. And so I put it on the side just to show you this is a tangent. But notice in 1 Corinthians 13:13, the last verse, I think, of the love chapter, as they call it, it says, so now faith, hope, and love abide. These three, but the greatest of these is love. And so if you say that faith ends for eternity. We won't need to have faith in God because we'll be experiencing it in the present. You could read that so now, as in so now in the present. But if you think that there was faith, is going to always be faith in God, and we won't fully know everything, and so there'd be a lot of logic to that too. You could read it so now as in therefore. So now that we've gone through all this, therefore, faith, hope, and love. And so you can read some of these things different ways. It's just a little thought I've been having. It's probably not important either way. We'll find out one day which case it is. But it's just a little thought that showing you something I really don't know about faith. But one of the things I've been learning about faith is that I've been having more questions about it than some of the answers I've been getting. So sometimes I get an answer and it brings up a few more questions. And maybe your parents will know the answers to these things, as this is kind of a new topic of study for me, and they can share. Okay. I guess there's some kids looking for pizza.
Oh, funny. All right, you keep going.
Okay, Aaron can deal with that. I do have one piece I haven't eaten here, Aaron, but one of them is definitely contaminated. Okay, I'll just continue for the rest of you guys who are listening. So I want to give you an example of this, of one of my questions. Let's go here to this verse in Matthew chapter 17, verses 19 to 20. This is a verse you guys are probably all familiar with. It says, "Then the disciples came to Jesus privately and said, 'Why could we not cast it out?' He said to them, 'Because of your little faith. For truly I say to you, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here,' and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you." So this is a statement coming from Jesus, so we know it's true. It's not like it was Satan saying this or something like that, where we could question who was saying it, but this is clearly Jesus, and so it's kind of a radical statement. And there are, check out the other synoptic gospels and see what they say. One talks about mulberry bush being thrown into the sea. There are little different ways Jesus said it different times. But as I was thinking about this and trying to understand it, I was thinking, what is he talking about in reference to a mustard seed? Because let's say he had said, if you have faith like a walrus, we would then be asking, well, what is it about walrus that might resemble faith? But here he's saying a mustard seed. And so we don't actually have to go outside of the Bible to learn about a mustard seed. Here in Matthew chapter 17, Jesus has already talked about mustard seed. And notice that he says, let me see here. I might have the wrong verses. Sorry. I am missing this verse, so I'll just jump back here. But he talks about a mustard seed, and let me see if I do have the reference. I believe it's Matthew 13, 31 to 32, if you guys want to check it out in your Bible. But he talks about mustard seed, and he says that it's the smallest of all seeds, but it grows into this big tree. And those are the kind of two things we know from the Bible about it. It's really small, but it grows really big. And so usually when I've heard people preach on this verse, they talk about how a mustard seed is so small. That's kind of what they focus on. And that kind of makes it interesting, because then a mustard seed represents small faith, little faith, which if I were to change the word from faith like a mustard seed to be little faith, this is how it would read. So the disciples have come to Jesus, this is the context of it, and said, why can't we cast this demon out? And he says to them, because of your little faith. For truly I say to you, if you had little faith, you would say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it would move, and nothing would be impossible to you. So if a mustard seed is denoting little faith, he's saying, the reason you couldn't cast out a demon is because of your little faith, but if you had little faith, you could do these crazy great things. And so I'm not actually sure what's going on. It seems confusing to me. And I don't understand why he's saying they have little faith, but if you have little faith like a mustard seed, you can do these great, amazing things. And so just trying to show you that I've been wrestling with these things, and I actually have a lot of questions, and maybe your family would be able to help you out and understand some of these things. Yeah, and be sure to check out the other synoptic gospels and see if you can make light of it by comparing and contrasting them. But it's just something I've never really thought about, and I haven't figured out how to make sense of it. And as I've been wrestling and trying to understand faith and all its aspects, I ended up going to my wife and asking her just for some counsel if she had any ideas and insights into faith and how it worked and what it was. And because I was just explaining to her some of these verses and showing her, hey, I'm not really getting it. I don't understand it. And she was able to give me some wise advice. And she reminded me, and I'll give you a rough paraphrase of what G.K. Chesterton said. But this is what she reminded me. She said that Christians who peek their heads into the heavens will enjoy it. But if you try to understand and know everything about heaven and cram it into your head will explode. And I tend to be a logical person. I try to understand everything. That's kind of my goal. And so when I come to a passage that I don't get, I really feel like I need to understand it. And so she was encouraging me that maybe you don't need to understand it. Maybe you can just enjoy that you have faith and that it's so amazing and that God values it so much. And I was thinking about it, faith really is for those of us who don't understand everything and haven't seen everything. Like, that's kind of the definition of faith. And so I realized that she was right, that we don't need to fully understand what's going on to have faith. And in fact, it's when we don't understand that we're really supposed to have faith. That's the time we should have it the most. And I want to give you actually an extreme example of this, and I know it is extreme, but it does come from Scripture, as well as a personal example I'd like to share about having faith despite what our reasoning tells us. Because sometimes it just doesn't seem logical to have faith, and yet we're asked to have faith and trust in God, despite what we're seeing with our eyes or what we've experienced in the past. And let me preface this just by saying that one of the things that falls into the category of things we need to have faith for, I believe, is God's promises. If God promises something, we know that he'll keep his word, that he speaks the truth, that he doesn't lie, and so we believe by faith that his promises will come true. When he promised the Messiah, that there needed to be faith, even though lots of people never saw that happen, that the Messiah truly would come, and he did, because God always keeps his promise. And we need to have faith that Jesus is coming back. We haven't yet experienced it, but that's something we have faith, because it's a promise of God. So in light of that, I want to take you to Hebrews chapter 11 and read you a couple verses that seem a little shocking to me. Here's the first one, verse 13 of Hebrews chapter 11. Talks about all these great heroes of the faith, and then it says they all died in faith, not having received the things promised. It says that they saw him from a distance, but they did not receive what was promised. Not all of what was promised, not fully. And yet, I know God is a promise keeper, and yet it seems to say that they didn't receive what happened. Also, in verse 39, towards the end of the chapter, he again says that, and all these things, though commended through their faith, did not receive what was promised. So here again, we're told that these people who had the faith, they had everything, and yet they didn't experience what was promised by God. And these people who were men of faith, probably much greater faith than me, they, as do I, believe that God keeps his promises. I'm sure of that. They believe that God always keeps his word, that he never lies. They believe that he knew the future, and I believe all these things as well. And I would also believe that God is perfectly faithful with no exception. And so the question is, why are they dying even though they have faith and they're still not receiving what was promised them? And as I was thinking about this, before we kind of try to find an answer for this, notice in verse 13, that first one, notice that it says that they died in faith. And I think that's amazingly commendable. Like they're on their deathbed, God's promised things, and yet they're still having faith. And I think that's amazing, that they were willing to die in faith, having not experienced proof of God keeping his promises just yet. And so, And that's kind of a beauty about the Christian faith, that existence doesn't end in the grave, and God still has time to fulfill his promises, that we will be with him forever, and he will be able to keep every promise that he made. Like, for instance, Moses died before going to the promised land, but God brought him into the promised land on Mount Transfiguration, that kind of thing. Like, God still had time to bring him into the promised land, even though, humanly speaking, it doesn't seem like there was any time. Like, he died before accomplishing that, but God still made sure he accomplished that. That sort of thing. And I do believe that one day every promise of God will come true fully. And even when it doesn't seem that way, that there's not enough time, that it's impossible. And I want to share with you guys a personal example of this. It's a story that I've shared with our Bible study a while back, and I just want to share a small portion of my larger story. But it was very impactful for my life, and that's why I want to tell you guys about it. There were a few years ago, not sure exactly when it was now, but I visited a guy in the hospital who was dying of cancer. He was at the later stages of cancer, and where he was basically told that, it's just a matter of days. That's all he had left. And so I went to visit him, and my only goal there was to just show solidarity, to maybe say a couple comforting words, just show him that I cared about him. That was really my only goal, and I didn't really know what I could do or anything. But he started to ask me questions, and he found out I was involved at the church and went to a Bible study, things like that. And so he figured I must have answers, and so he started asking me questions that I was not prepared for. I had not even fully thought through some of these things, and I definitely wasn't ready to have them coming from a dying man. And one of his questions that he asked is, why wasn't God healing him? And he told me that he had asked for forgiveness for every sin he could think of. He said he'd been asking for God to remind him of sins he couldn't think of. He'd asked for forgiveness for the sins he couldn't think of. He said that he truly believed that he had faith. Like, he was quite sure that he had faith, that God could heal him. He told me that he had asked other people to pray for his healing. Like, he had tried all sorts of things. He poured through his scriptures. He said he truly believed that he was going to heaven, that he was in right relationship with God, everything. And yet he was saying, hey, I'm doing all the right things and I don't seem to be getting healed. And he was asking me why. And that was a brutally difficult question. So I remember quickly offering one of those, 3-second prayers, like, God help me. I don't know what to do. What am I doing here? And then he had this Bible. It was fairly worn out by his bed, and he pulls it out, and he told me that morning he had been reading from Isaiah 53. And in Isaiah 53, let me see, I don't actually have that reference up there, but in Isaiah 53, verse 5, he was reading that it says that by Jesus' whippings we are healed, or by his stripes we are healed. And so he was saying, this doesn't seem to have conditions. It seems like it should just be given to me through Christ's work on the cross, and it doesn't even need to be my work, but I've done everything I think that's humanly possible. What is going on? And this was just a really tricky situation. And he told me, and so I didn't know how to answer that. I don't know how you would answer that, and I'm not sure that I answered it the best way I could have, but I'll share what I ended up talking to him about. But I didn't want to tell this man, like Job's friends did, that he was obviously in sin, because only bad things happen to bad people. And I didn't know if he had any sins. Like, I really don't know. And I didn't want to tell him that he didn't have enough faith, because, again, I have no idea. Like, I would just be a guess on my part, and he seemed to truly believe it. And so I took him at his word for those things. And I knew for sure I couldn't tell him that Isaiah 53:5 was wrong. Like, I truly believed that verse. I'd already told him that I believed the Bible and took it at face value. And so I ended up just sharing with him that Jesus had suffered a fatal wound and died, and that even though he died, he still found healing from that fatal wound and recovered and was risen again. And But he wasn't healed until he died, till after he died, and then he found healing. And I told him, basically, in essence, that I encouraged him to have faith, even if he died in that faith. And this is something that in Romans, as you can see with the verses that these people did, that they all died in their faith, having not fully received all the promises of God. And yet they continue to have faith till their last breath. And I think that was amazing and commendable, and why these examples are given in Hebrews. Like, that's an incredible faith. It's easy to have faith, waiting for 5 minutes or something from God, but that's not how it works sometimes. And so I was able to promise him that, based on Scripture, that he would spend eternity healed, and he would spend eternity without tears or sorrow, and without even death. He'd be even healed from that. And that, but I couldn't promise him that it would happen before he died. It might have to happen after, and he did. He passed away 2 weeks later. And but I do believe that one day he'll be walking around healthy and healed from cancer for eternity. And so recently I heard from a pastor. This guy was in the States. I don't really know him, but I heard about it. That he had claimed that he had enough faith and he was sure that COVID wouldn't affect him. And he probably had a lot of faith, because I don't have enough faith to say that. But he ended up dying of COVID very sadly, and which I think was unfortunate because of his publicity and stuff, and it not coming true. And I think that he probably got colds and stuff, so I think it might have been foolish for him to assume that this would be an exception that he couldn't catch. But I'm actually kind of glad that he did have faith to the moment he died. Like, I think that part is commendable, that he, like these people, truly believed in what he felt God had promised him. But I think that we can act and speak and think with a little bit more wisdom than that. And have faith, absolutely, yes. I totally believe that the Bible wants us to have incredible amounts of faith, and to continue to have faith and grow that faith like a mustard seed that grows to a big tree. I believe in all those things. But my question to you is, even if you were to get sick, even if that were to happen, would you still have faith? And I think this is what the Bible asks. The Bible, I believe, would say that just because you got sick, in the natural, yeah, we would start doubting and not have faith. But I think God wants us to continue to have faith, even if we're on our deathbed and end up dying, that we still need to have faith in God, that He will come through in the end. And that's a really tough thing. And so I was just thinking about this, that faith, despite all the logic and the way things seem, and you go, oh, it's impossible, so there's no way. But we still are asked to have faith like these mighty men did. And so my prayer is that for all of us, that our faith in God will not grow faint or weary, even to the point of death, like these men. And it just challenged me how great their faith was. I'd never really realized that they had faith to the point of death, even though they didn't receive the things promised. And I think that's the kind of faith God wants us to have, and we know that in the end, He will always keep His word no matter what. So I just want to leave you guys with that. It's something that I've been challenged with. Again, my thoughts are a little raw. I've just been kind of processing these things. And like I said, I don't know everything about faith, but despite that, I'm still supposed to have it and believe in it. And I trust God. And it's actually kind of evidence to me that the God of the Bible is the one true God. Because if He was a God that was so small that I could fully understand Him in my mind, He's probably man-made. But the true God who created the universe, created me, understands things that nobody in the universe has yet discovered. That's a God that I can't fully wrap my mind around, but I'm still asked to have trust and faith in Him. And so it's something that I'm working on having. So I just want to leave that with you, and hopefully that'll be of some help to you guys. Yeah. So that's the end of that. Maybe we will close in a time of prayer.
So quickly first, too,
Yeah.
we have an update. So we were taken up on our offer. We had some youth show up at the church, and yeah, I've been smiling ever since. It was hilarious. They were waiting for their pizza that we promised. You know, they turned our joke around on us, and so we
Got in
had
trouble.
Aiden, Micah, Jonah, James, and Samuel all show up.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they were looking for the pizza. Unfortunately, it was a joke, and we only had a couple slices, and we had contaminated them by chewing on them. So I told them we owe them a pizza.
We
So,
do owe you guys a pizza. Absolutely. Yeah. And we're not supposed to actually even be sharing food, so I'm not sure how we'd make it all work, but we do definitely owe you guys a pizza.
Yeah, for sure. We'll work it out
I
somehow.
didn't
for
expect
sure.
anyone was actually gonna
But
call our bluff on this.
but good on you guys. So
All right, no more snack nights, guys.
yeah, snack is canceled. Done.
That's right. All right. Yeah, let's just quickly pray, and then we'll do the video challenge. All right. Lord, I just pray that you would give these youth and their parents wisdom to help explain and understand faith and the different aspects of Scripture, and continue to teach them with it, whatever you want them to learn next. And I just ask for increased amount of faith for myself and for everyone listening. And we know that faith is so important, and it pleases you that we have faith. And so I ask that we would please you with the faith that we have, and that would continue to grow like that mustard seed and become a big tree. And please keep everyone safe, and we thank you so much for your promises and your faithfulness. Pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Now, I don't know if you remember the list. I may or may not have this on the computer. We had written out
All our video challenge ideas. Yeah.
Yeah,
And by
we-
all of ours, I mean Jonathan's mostly.
we had a bunch, and I'm just going to quickly look and see if we have it. But if not, I'm not seeing a Word document with that. Hold on. May 1st, video task. There we go. Okay, we got a lifesaver here. So I will give this to Aaron. I think. Oh, that's just. No,
this is our
this is
schedule from
something
a
else.
previous week. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that was video tasks. Oh, there.
Oh,
Okay. For some reason, now if I make it bigger. Okay. Okay, so Aaron is currently picking a favorite item from their list, and we'll be posting this. The rules are, as they always are, keep your video 20 seconds or less. You guys have all been doing fine with that. I think some of yours are maybe significantly under. And then email them to me. The description of whatever video challenge Aaron proposes is going to be posted by tomorrow at least.
Yeah.
And with the exact wording, so feel free to check that out. And then again, I believe this week I sent out a little reminder on Facebook, so be sure to check that out. Just a reminder to make sure you send me your videos if you haven't. And like I said, if you guys have friends or people who aren't usually engaged in the chat that we don't know about, feel free to also send us your videos. We'll review them all, pick our favorite, and it'll just be a fun thing to do.
For sure. Okay, so I've chosen one. This week, you will be tasked with doing something extraordinary with a pair of pants.
Ooh.
So it leaves it pretty wide open there. We don't
Yeah.
have, in other ones, we've done locations like in your house, in your kitchen. This one's wide open.
Yeah.
The only thing is you need a pair of pants and something extraordinary. So,
That could go in so many ways.
so many
you
ways.
know?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That'll be very interesting. Okay, we look forward to seeing your videos.
Yeah,
Thanks so
for
much for
joining us.
joining us.
see ya.